friends, it's Maria Robinson, Stamping Simply with Maria. Thanks for joining me again today. So in today's video tutorial, I'm continuing to use Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper. If you remember, in last week's video, I did a few cards using this piece here, this here, this here, this one, and then the daisies over here. Aren't these so pretty? So it makes it so easy for us to use this as our card bases. Well, maybe not the card base because I put this on cardstock, but using this as the focal point. So let me show you those cards once again. So I have this one here, and I use this focal point. Then on this one, I use two different pieces. I use the pink one here, put that in the screen, and then I use this garden green one here to make this very simple card. And then I just added the cardstock, of course. And then we have this one. This one's super easy. Just use this for the background, added a sentiment label here, a couple of rhinestones, little ribbon, and you're done. Quick, right? And then this one I used a little more. I did some stamping on here, and I used this piece right down here for the focal point. So today I'm going to be using this piece here and this piece down here with the daisies. And we're going to be using Pebbled Path cardstock and Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath and a little garden green. So let's get started. All right, so this is the card that we're going to be creating together. I've gone ahead and cut out most of the pieces already just to save some time, but I'm going to change it up just a little bit. So this card design, I actually used the sketch for my mystery stampers to post something on our page. And if you're interested in joining my mystery stamping group, it's a free group. Anyone's allowed to join. In the description below the video, you'll find a link and you could join the fun. We have a great time. We get together on Sundays around 7 p.m., 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're available and want to join, take a chance. It's great. We have lots of fun and lots of laughs. So this is the stamp set that we're using. And I've already taken some of them out and put them on the blocks. And I'm also using some of the die cuts from here. Just take this one leaf out because I know I'm going to be needing that since I didn't die cut that. All right, so we've got all our parts and pieces here. I've got my card base, which I'm using thick basic white. I've got some glue on here already. Actually, this is not thick basic white. No, that was another card that I had made. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Moody Mauve. This is one of the new in colors, and this is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have another piece of basic white. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And those will be going on the inside. Then on the outside, I have a piece of Pebbled Path. And this is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, I believe. Just make sure. Yes, 4 1/8. Okay. So we got that. And then got my little pieces that I've already die cut, my daisies. And then we've got our little squares here. And let me give you the measurements for these. They are, what is that? 1 1/8 by 1 5/8. So 1 1/8 by 1 5/8. And then the layering pieces are 1 inch by 1 1/2. Okay. And then I have some scraps here. I'm going to be stamping the leaves on here, and then we'll die cut it. And then these are just scraps that I'm going to be using for the card front. All right, let's get started. So first I'm just going to adhere these pieces together. This seems to be the easiest way to go. I'm going to get my mat here, my piercing mat. Put that here. I've got my silicone craft mat in case I dribble any glue. And I will fast forward through this area, through this point where I'm gluing, since you don't need to learn how to do that. And while I'm using my glue, I'm going to adhere this as well. All right, I think I got that figured out. All right, so we will set those pieces aside, let them set and dry. I think I'm done with that for now. Oh, let's keep this out though. All right, let me burnish this. Oh my goodness, there's a stink bug. All right, as I was saying, I'm gonna burnish this. There was a stink bug on my bone folder. All right, then we're gonna add the pebbled path layer to the card front. I'm going to do some stamping first. So let's bring in our pierce mat and my Wishing You the Brightest Birthday, and I'm going to use Moody Mauve for that. And this here is Bubble Bath is the cardstock color. And I think the Moody Mauve and the Bubble Bath look so nice together. And I think you'll agree once you see it. Stamp that right down in the center, like so. And then I am not done with that yet. All right, so we'll put that aside. And then I'm going to stamp the flower, the daisy, on the inside cardstock. So what I want to do is I'm going to ink that, but I'm going to stamp off first. And then I'm going to stamp down in the corner here. So it's lighter. And this is one way that you can stretch your stamp sets, your ink pads, and get 2 colors or even 3 out of 1 ink pad. I might have smudged that in there, so I just want to clean that off a little bit. Okay, let's try that again. Make sure I get that lined up right. So, lift and perfect. All right, we can put the Moody Mauve away. Next, I'm going to do the center part here in Pecan Pie, which is also a new ink color. And I thought it went very nicely in the center of this daisy. I'm not sure how this goes, so I keep stamping it differently every time I make this card. And lastly, while we're using the stamp pads, the ink pads, let's go ahead and use Garden Green and I'll be die cutting the leaves. So I'm going to do this 3 times, and I'm doing it in garden green on garden green cardstock. I love the tone on tone, and with Stampin' Up colors, it makes it very easy to match colors. So you know that if you're using garden green cardstock and ink, that they will match perfectly. Or any other color for that matter. All right, let's close this up. We are done with the inks. Let me get my mini cut and emboss machine here. Set this aside as well. And my die is in here. Get my plates. I'm using plate 1, plate 2. And then we'll put the paper, the cardstock, lay the die on top of that. So, and we'll layer another plate number 2 on that. And we'll send it through. Rather than going through the whole thing, I'm just going to back it up a little bit. There we go. Our first leaf is done. Set that aside. And go on to the next leaf. And there you have it. 3 leaves cut out. All right, let's put this on the inside. So I still have 3 more pieces from that designer series paper cut out. I have another idea for one of the other pieces, and I will be posting that video after this one. At least that's the plan. Adhere this to the inside. Put a little liquid glue here. And you'll see with the glue, what I'm doing is I'm doing very tiny spider lines, I call them. And that's what you want to do. Otherwise, what happens is it gooshes out. And you don't want that. All right, so that is that. Now we can place our little pieces. So I want to put one here. One here, and then we're going to put this one down here. And there's really no spacing for this. I mean, I personally think it depends on how big the strip is down here, how wide it is. And let's see, this one I think is just under, yeah, this is about 7/8 of an inch, maybe 3/4. Let's see, I don't know. Between 3/4 and 7/8 of an inch. You can make it bigger, smaller, and then the width of it, the length is, what is this piece? 5 3/8. So I am going to actually use my Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. I'm just going to stick this in here. And put a little decorative edge. And you could do a banner if you want, you know, the flag banner with the tails. I'm not very good at doing that. But I do have the punch that makes the banner, but I wanted to do the little scalloped on this one. I thought it went well with the daisies. So one side, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Like so. Pretty. And we'll put this. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to here. And then I will add my bubble bath layer on top of that. I think that makes it easier. Like so. And we'll put this to the front here. And then we can add these pieces. So I like to lay them out on my card base. And then what I'll do is I'll take one piece off, put adhesive on it, while keeping the other ones in the right area. So we'll take off this gray one here. There was a little bit of glue stuck on the back of it. And that's the other reason I like to use the liquid glue, because if I'm not happy with where it is exactly, then I can move it around a little bit. I'll go put the other gray one, the other pebbled path piece, down first. Then we'll do the Moody Mauve with the little daisies on it. And the last piece. All right, then we will add the leaves to the daisy. Then we'll pop that up with some dimensionals. I'm gonna add 2 on one side. All right, there we go. It's good. And then we'll add 1 to the other side here. The little seal. Hold that down. Okay. And actually, I don't even need the glue. I'm just using some dimensionals. Let's see. I'll put dimensionals over it just to keep it enforced a little bit more. Put one in the middle here. And we can use another one up here. And one over here. I'll put that on the card front. Right about here, maybe. Like, oops, hang on. I'll move it over just a tad to about here. There we go. All right, then I'm going to add some pastel gems. Let's see, we'll put some gold down here. Keep finding dog hair on here. I don't even let my shepherd up here. That. And then we'll add 3 little pink ones in this corner here. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I hope you give this a try. If you'd like to order the Fresh as a Daisy suite, you can find the information in the video, under the video in the description, and you can order that on my website. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Till next time, guys, have a great time. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.